All right, welcome back. Sources tell ABC News Israel and Hamas have officially begun the first round of indirect ceasefire negotiations in Egypt today. A critical 20-point peace plan brokered by the United States, is on the table, with the release of the remaining 48 hostages taken by Hamas as a top priority. Tel Aviv reporting only 20 are believed to still be alive. And earlier at the White House, President Trump expressed optimism over a lasting deal.
I really think we're going to have a deal. We have a really good chance of making a deal, and it'll be a lasting deal.
Now, this comes after Israeli forces carried out multiple airstrikes in parts of Gaza. The Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry reporting Israel carried out nearly 100 airstrikes over the weekend. Meanwhile, we're just hours away from marking a full 2 years since Hamas carried out its deadly October 7th attack on Israel, killing, raping, torturing, and kidnapping innocent lives. ABC's national security and defense analyst Mick Mulroy joins me now for more. Mick, President Trump says Gaza peace talks will last a couple of days. What's your immediate thoughts on the timeline here, especially when it comes to the dire need for aid?
So, Ike, if the president's talking about the exchange of hostages and the return of Palestinian prisoners coming out and the increase in aid, which is supposed to go to 600 trucks per day, then I guess the discussions can happen and potentially start moving in that timeline. If he's talking about the implementation of the whole 20-point plan, well, that will take months because we're talking a multinational force that needs to be stood up and trained. We're talking about a governing body that needs to be vetted, selected, and set up. So I think he's probably talking about the initiation of the hostage and prisoner exchange and the massive increase in humanitarian aid, which is desperately needed.
And then we have reporting that Israel's prime minister called Russian President Vladimir Putin today about those ongoing negotiations. So what's Russia's role here?
So that's a bit perplexing. Russia hasn't played a role in negotiations. It's been Qatar and Egypt. But Russia does have a very strong relationship with Iran. And Iran is the one who has funded Hamas. About 90% of their military support prior to October 7th came from Iran. So potentially that's what the conversation was about. That's the only thing I could think of. Certainly Russia hasn't been involved in these negotiations. And quite frankly, any other addition to the negotiations might just complicate it even further.
All right, Mick Mulroy, thank you for that analysis.